Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, parastalkers, grand poobahs, and paralurkers. Hope you are all doing well tonight. My name is Anne Regovich, and this lovely lady next to me is...
Renata Daniel.
And she has flown in on her broomstick mighty fine to the deadline, but let me tell you, she's here with her face on and ready for action.
That is true, that is true. Just come back from Sydney. It took a mighty long time to get home, let's just say.
And you're visiting your gorgeous daughter, Alex.
That's correct.
Who is a very talented graphic designer, is that correct?
Animator.
Animator. See?
Anyone got a job out there for her? That would be really good.
Hi Irene from Tokyo, Japan.
Hello.
You've been on several times. You're officially a parastalker now. And Angie hates you. You must be from America, my sweet. Don't worry, we'll be on your time at 8 p.m. tomorrow. Not that you're watching right now, but for all our American friends, we are on tomorrow.
We have a wonderful topic tomorrow night. It's all about empaths. So if you feel that you are one, or you would like to know more about
don't know who that is.
This whole
Facebook user
empath thing, head on over tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Sydney time, or sometime during the evening US time, and check out our little workshop.
Oh, what's our favourite scary movie? Well, we've both now watched Conjuring.
Oh, what a lot of shit that was.
But look, it was actually an entertaining movie. It's just... It was based on a true story. I couldn't even say loosely based on a true story. It's nowhere near.
No, the movie was taken and whooshed across the top of a piece of newspaper that had the story on it.
It's like saying something's got garlic in it because you wafted it past it and never actually put it in, but just wafted it past it. It was entertaining, but it was really turning people into saints that weren't saints. Anyway, let's go. What was your favourite scary movie you've ever watched?
Dwayne, I really don't like scary movies. I don't. I've got to think about it. Let me think about it. There have been a few that I've really, really liked. I probably, hearkening back many years ago, I would have chosen the one what was it called, where he says, I see dead people. What was that?
Oh, the Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
I really liked that one.
Yeah, I didn't. That was...
I liked some of the ones that M. Night Shyamalan did until before he went really cray. But yeah, some of those.
Yes, and my very first one that I really... Do you know what used to terrify me as a kid? There's an episode of Doctor Who. This is when I was little, so this is a long time ago. We're talking about probably early 70s. And there was an episode of Doctor Who where this stuff was bubbling out across the floor and it looked like bubbles, but it was this thing that was going to eat you alive, and it crawled over people and they screamed and died. And that gave me nightmares for weeks.
Hello, Amy from Haunted Auckland.
Hey there, hi!
We're kind of making plans to come over and see you guys at some point in time.
Well, we're coming over to New Zealand, but not necessarily just to see you guys, because we would have told you about that before we announced that. But we'd love to catch up with you guys, for sure. Who's the parastalker? That's what we call our fans. All our fans are called parastalkers.
Yeah, Irene, I know. My daughter is absolutely besotted with Japan. She would go over and live there in a heartbeat.
And her animations are perfect.
Absolutely.
Saw The Conjuring 3. The Devil Made Me Do It, and most of it did not go in depth about the case of because we actually...
No, none of it did.
We looked at the case of Jurgenson last year, or the year before actually, as part of the ABC of Paranormal Strangeness. And yeah, they've made him look like a saint. Anyway, let me scroll down. I've missed a few. Excuse my hay fever. I am really struggling. Hi, Starseed Watson from Canberra. Jesus, chilly in Canberra at the moment. You watched the show on 7 Plus. Oh, thank you, Celeste. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We're very, very proud of it. And we know there is a season 2 because we're halfway through filming that. So, yeah, hang on. I just go to Amy's question there. I thought it was closer to a rom-com than a horror. Yes, I would agree. There's this whole romantic thing going on.
Thing, yeah, between Ed and Lorraine, and you go, is that really required?
And my husband was with us at the cinema, and they were going on about how Ed was rushed off to have a stent put in. Well, he looked up his history, and stents weren't even invented back then.
Oh, really?
He sent me a bloody link to say when they were invented, and so that is a big furphy.
I do believe he did have a heart attack.
Have heart issues.
He had a heart attack.
I don't think it was during that stage. I think that just made a good story. But we'll do some research on that. Maybe we should do a true hauntings on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's get back to Mick. How does one access their Akashic records to affect change?
You go to the Akashic Records repository in
library?
your capital city, and you take out a card that says Mick Holgate, and you go in. Look, there are different ways of considering this depending on what your belief system is and what you have been brought up believing. Some people believe there are no such thing as Akashic records. Some people believe that it's actually your DNA, and what you are actually accessing is information from your DNA. And of course your DNA holds information from your ancestors and your lineage, so that is theoretically correct. How you get to that, there are psychics and healers that will help you get into your Akashic records by doing past life regressions or regressive work through hypnosis, and you can get some information that way, I guess. The most important thing is to understand whether it's going to actually assist you and help you or give you more shit to have to deal with. So that's something that you've got to think about. Do you really want to know all of that, and how is it affecting you now? And is it something that needs to be blamed on something that happened to an ancestor 2 or 3 generations ago? Or is it just you dealing with your stuff? So this is this fine line of spiritual bypassing where we sort of go, what am I responsible for? Or what am I going to blame on something else? Is it going to actually assist and help me? Or is it just going to confuse me even more? What do you think, Anne?
Oh, I thought that was enough on that. Look, I think the Akashic Records is just another word for digging through your own thoughts, really. I know that I know there's more to it than that. But
hair.
Oh look, the set went really nice orangey yellow colour then. I like that. There. You don't move. That's good. It's good. Yeah. So to access it, to change things, is facing your own demons within you and dealing with it, and either solving the problem or working a way around it that works for you. I'm not big on Akashic records. Either of you empaths?
I think everyone that works in the spiritual realm is, by definition, an empath if they are also tapping into all of the 6 senses that they have. So an empath is just someone who feels and senses more deeply and senses on a level where they are gathering or gaining information about the external world from sensations. So it would be like walking into a room portable tree and kind of going, oh, I don't really feel good in here. Something just doesn't sit right. I'm on edge, or you get that prickle of the skin on the back of your neck or something. And so something in that
Nick.
environment is telling you that it may not be safe there. And vice versa, you may walk into a space and go, I really love being here. This makes me feel so comfortable and so good. So it doesn't have to always be dark and nasty. It can be something beautiful and wonderful that you feel. And anyone that's learning about psychic abilities or tapping into their psychic abilities is working on that empathic part of yourself, because you're learning to read and sense people and the environment and situations without hearing people say the words.
Okay, hang on. We're actually researching empaths for tomorrow's show with the Pun Network, and I found this great quote, which is that empaths have a heightened sensitivity, and parapsychologists often refer to them as being psi-sensitives. I liked that. So for me, yes, but I probably don't look at it as the word as empaths, because sometimes people use that as to say they have a weakness because they're empaths. I don't think it's a weakness. For my work that I used to do when I work in aged care, it was called reading the room. You would walk into the room, you'd have 20 aged people in different states of deterioration or good health, and you would read the room to see who was feeling sad, who was angry, who was self-isolating, not through what the nurses had told you, but you scan the room and you read the people. And using that gut instinct, you would then interact, because I used to be almost like a clown doctor, with the people that needed that therapy the most. So that is a form of empathy, and or being an empath. So it's not a weakness, it's actually a strength. Okay.
So does everyone know what the Akashic records are? Because I'm just seeing Bronwyn actually ask that question, the Akashic records. Let me grab a definition for you.
It's supposed to be where the past, present, future, all knowledge, everything is there from the pool of soul knowledge that is out there, and we all have our own little piece of it that we can work with or find knowledge from if we know how to tap into it. That's my definition of it. I could be completely wrong, but that's my understanding.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what Dr. Google says. In theosophy and
No, we can't even say the words.
Anthroposophy, the Akashic records are a compendium of all universal events, thoughts, words, emotions, and intent ever to have occurred in the past, present, or future in terms of all entities and life forms, not just human.
Woohoo!
So, everything.
Yep, it is everything. It is the universal consciousness.
Yep, everything is stuck in this.
And it's supposed to be all there. And
Yep.
then you can just go and tap into it and find out whatever you want to find out. Yeah, The Shining was a good movie, I would agree. Hi, Ezra!
Amira?
Oh, you know, Irene, we saw a little bit of that in Ghost Hunters React. We've got a YouTube series called Ghost Hunters React, and we'd never seen it before, and they pulled it out. We've gone, oh my god, that was awesome. Alright, what is retrograde? There we go. What is actually retrograde? Why does Mercury fuck everything up as opposed to the other planets?
I'm really bad at trying to explain these things. Let me get...
So it's a stage of the planetary movements, and it's the placement of where Mercury is in the sky and how it's moving in comparison to other things.
Yep.
Is that basically it?
Yep.
We don't know everything. So, we'll be honest.
So it says apparent retrograde motion is the apparent motion of a planet in a direction opposite to that of other bodies within its system. So it's kind of going that way.
And we know that the moon has a tidal force on and affects the planet. It affects the water on the planet, and therefore does affect humans because we are made up of a huge percentage of water. and it is thought that these other planets have some sort of influence, just as the moon does, on us. And somebody somewhere along the line noted that when this planet was in this stage, that things fucked up. So they called it Mercury in retrograde and warned everyone that when Mercury goes into retrograde, hang on to your knickers.
But, Renee, the other thing is that some people are sensitive to this and many people aren't. So many people will say the whole retrograde thing is bullshit and don't worry about it. And the more you focus in on the fact that it is a retrograde time, the more likely it is you are going to be looking out for things that turn bad. But there are also some people, as we talk about the whole empath thing, that are very, very susceptible to any kind of small changes in the universal flow, and it tends to just interact with them in a way that may not be nice.
That spider moving behind you is freaking creepy. Right. Just wondering how a person can really know if they have some skill in communicating with people that have passed, and is there somewhere genuine that they can learn to enhance their skills? It's a tough one, Amira.
Yeah, Amira, find yourself a good mentor or a place where you can be with people who are like-minded and will allow you to grow. And again, Amira, if you just pop up maybe around where you are, what area of the world you are in, there might be people watching right now who may be able to assist you and say there's a really good place there or there's a really good place there. These sort of skills take time to develop, and you need to be able to boost your own self-confidence and your willingness to be open to make mistakes and your willingness to be open to listen to information that is coming through from allegedly outer sources as well as inner sources. So listening to that little voice in your head that is telling you something. So these are skills that can be learned. Some people are awesomely good at it, some people less so, but most people can learn to do it.
Also, there is a great place called the Wind Bridge Institute, which is in America. If you look it up, that's I'll write it down here in the comments, where they have developed some systems for testing mediums, and it's a very rigorous, I think it was the Windbridge Institute, form of testing. We've been learning about that through the Ryan Institute parapsychology course we've been doing.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
There's so many
like
blinds.
Triple blind, quadruple blind testing where no one knows nothing.
It's insane. Like you don't even get put in the same room as the person.
Building sometimes.
Yeah, no.
They put you in a different building.
Yeah, and I don't know how they work out who they know to focus on. How do they know who to focus on when there's so many blinds? They say, "Oh, you've got to do a reading." Who? There's got to be somewhere in there. Anyway, and it is hard, but basically how you know you've got someone who can really communicate with someone who has passed is by giving validating information that only you would know, and you have to get it verified. Hi Dwayne, no, I haven't watched a lot of the Japanese scary movies. I actually haven't watched a lot of movies at all at the moment. Hi Steve, how are ya? Have you had much luck with the motion light up balls? Also the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I've got both. A good friend gave us the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and I do enjoy having a few little Ghostbuster things around the place. I do like that. And I like the cat balls. I don't know. There's just something. We had one thrown at us, so that was good.
Farm Sim, I think we have to be open to all things that are available to us, and the cat balls are one of those things that in most cases people can buy really, really cheaply. And I know there are a lot of people out there who would love to go investigating, and they do not have the money to buy the equipment, but they would love to take something with them. So there are things that you can take along to a ghost hunt or to an investigation that aren't that expensive, but will also allow you to enjoy the process. So, trying to cater for everyone on the whole spectrum of wanting to either ghost hunt or investigate. I think it's important to be able to show that many different things can work and you can use them.
And thank you to all those people who have said they've watched The Space Between on 7+ now and how much they enjoyed it. We so appreciate that, and it's great to know that you are enjoying it. And we had a message here from Kate. A question after watching The Space Between. I think you said Sam was misunderstood, which doesn't, and then we can't see the rest of that.
Yeah, Kate, can you finish that sentence for us and we'll be able to answer it for you because it just hasn't come up. Hello, Helen King. How are you? Gosh, it's been a long time. What's happening with you, lovely lady?
What's the funniest thing that has happened to you on your ghost tours?
Listening to people fart when they're on the headphones and they think no one can hear them. Everyone's sitting on headphones except for us and they are farting like there's no tomorrow. And you're going, excuse me?
And like, we're trying to keep a professional face on, and all the staff don't have headphones on. There's people ripping one left, right, and centre, and we're all going because we've got a very serious, deep-rooted funny bone in all of us, and when we hear farts, that's it. We just want to laugh out loud. Oh my God. Yeah, so that is one of another funny thing for me, which wasn't funny really at the time, was the lady in the dark who seemed to think she was being attacked by a ghost and was going face first down her husband's chest, going, "Ooh, ooh," and then I've turned the light on to find her face in his crotch moaning, and I've just gone, oh, they're in their 70s. I don't know if I want to see this, but yeah, it was just a little moment where I got the giggles. Alright, just getting down. There's a free download called Akashic Records Made Easy. Thanks, Janet.
Akashic Records
Made Easy. How you doing, lovely? Everyone
Hi,
send out some healing to our gorgeous Jeanette.
That's awesome. Akashic Records
Made Easy. Akashic Records
like
for Dummies?
Records for Dummies. Look, I'm sure there is.
Alright, we're up to, ladies, feel free to ignore this question of too personal. I've always wondered, do either of you identify with a religion, e.g. Wicca, etc., and was it from your families or your chosen path? I was raised in the Catholic tradition, was forced to go to church every weekend on Saturday night or Sunday morning, plus whatever we had to do during school hours, and no, it was not my choice, and I walked away from that in my 20s and started pursuing. I became a seeker, basically, not really knowing what I was after until I was doing table tipping with a lady and a gent who were both witches, and it suddenly dawned on me. I said, maybe I'm a witch, and they took offence to it because I didn't realise that there is more to it than just going, maybe I'm a witch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You just have a TikTok page.
Yeah, apparently. Anyway, they took offence, and I then sort of I left it for a bit and then started to research it, then started to do courses, and I am still a seeker. I am not aligned to any faith or religion. I certainly know there is more going on out in the universe than we will ever understand, but I believe that all the power is within me, and I have the power to change the world should I so choose, by the actions that I take. I take responsibility for my actions.
So deep.
I know, right?
So deep.
Your turn.
Absolutely. I was born into a very Catholic family, and raised as a Catholic for many, many years, until probably I was about 15 or 16, and I went, this is all shit. That didn't mean anything to my family, because as far as they were concerned, I still had to go to church and do all the church functions. Interesting thing, though, with my family was there was a juxtaposition. I'm going to use that word because it's a big word.
A big word!
A juxtaposition of the fact that we also celebrated all the pagan Wheel of the Year and all of the pagan changes of the seasons, because that was part of our culture. And that to me felt like home. So I have to say that I was literally raised in two worlds, one being the religious world and one being the pagan world. I've chosen the pagan world.
Britt, this is what I absolutely loved about The Space Between, and when they asked those questions at the end, I did not see that question coming, and it took me by surprise, and I had a split-second decision on whether to answer it or not. I almost said, I don't want to answer this, but I went, no, I'm going to answer it. I'm so glad I did. The rest of you will have to watch The Space Between to see what that is all about.
And I would agree with that hypothesis that there are many cases of people who develop psychic abilities because of trauma.
Right, so what do you think of egregores?
Egregores are very much attached to very old belief systems, and a lot of egregores and stories about egregores and what they are actually are very, very deeply ingrained in very old societies and systems. So we're going back to like Mesopotamia and those
They're thought forms, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're old, ancient type of. I mean, we can still create egregores, but they're really ancient.
So an egregore is almost something that we create ourselves, if I remember correctly. So if you've got somebody, it's almost like going to a haunted location, you keep telling the same story about a ghost over and over and over and over and over, and it almost creates the thought form of the entity, and it's fed into the energy, then it becomes a separate entity to itself. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It can break away from the energetic connection of the person that has created it and become its own thing. And that's where you lose control.
It's almost like artificial intelligence, you know. You create it and you set all these boundaries and things, or sometimes you don't know you're creating it, but then it gains its own thought process, and that's where you've got to find that line with AI.
I was going to do the ABC of Paranormal Strangers on egregores, and I decided not to because there just wasn't enough information to spread.
Oh, here we are. I have a question, Space Between. Do you think the spirits can project different intentions to different people? I got the feeling that you thought Sam wasn't necessarily a bad person in life, which is not the story I was told on either of my late night ghost tours at Q Station.
Because that's the story you were told on your late night tour at Q Station, and it may not necessarily be so. So unless they know exactly who Sam was, and as far as I know they don't, do they?
No.
So unless they know exactly who Sam was,
an egregore.
and who he was, what he did, when he did it, and it's all written down somewhere so that you can say that person was a bad person. I've got to keep an open mind and go, I don't think he is. I think this is a story that's been told for so long that it's become a semi-truth or an egregore, and we may have this person who at some stage lived in this house completely wrong.
Yeah. Me having worked there for 6 years and speaking to some of the tour guides that used to work there back when it was National Parks and Wildlife Days, they actually created some of the stories of these ghosts and then passed them down as truths.
Oops!
This particular entity, Sam, there was historically a minister that used to live there that was called Reverend Samuel or something Samuel. He was some sort of minister, and if I was known as Samuel and people kept coming into this place where maybe this reverend lived and saying these stories, I'd be angry. I'd be really angry, and the ones that used to get the most negative energy thrown at them by this entity called Samuel were the ones who would keep telling that story about the horrible things that Samuel did within that house. There is no historical proof whatsoever There's stories of people being dismembered in the back
Horrible,
bathroom,
absolutely
garroted
horrible stories.
with wires, of being chopped up and put into coffins. There is no historical proof. Some of these stories come from mediums who have been on the tour and saying, "This is what I sense." We don't know who these mediums are. Those mediums haven't been tested. They could just be someone who's come in and made some stuff up, but they believe it's true because they've heard how spooky Q Station is. Q Station is very haunted. Don't get me wrong. It is very haunted. But, yeah, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to get into trouble. But just please be aware that these stories have been passed down from generation to generation of tour guides. We were in there as paranormal investigators, not tour guides, so we would only ever...
there are a few ghosts that
I do have an EVP, though, that confirms who it was that was there.
Yeah. And there were a few places where I encountered particular spirits that belonged to Q Station, and kind of we were getting very different stories about some of the things that were happening, whether they are right or not.
There's nothing demonic there. I'm just putting that out there now. Nothing.
But
it's sadness.
Yeah, I think some of these spirits are so really awfully misunderstood. And like you put yourself into that situation, Kate, and anyone else, you know, if someone keeps on saying really horrible things about you that you know aren't true, how horrible is that for you? How awful does that make you feel? You do want to throttle them. You do want to tell them to just
like
stop
saying this stuff. It's not true. Yeah. It's like gossips who keep spreading bad stories about you. I did get an EVP, so it's electronic voice phenomena, voices you don't hear with your own ears at the time, but show up on digital recordings. And I was in the cottage and I'm saying something like, "Sam, can you make yourself known?" And you hear this voice go, "Samuel." I'm like, oh. Got corrected. So from then I always called him Samuel, just out of respect. And
we'd love the opportunity to spend more time investigating these particular energies. We shall see. Hi Jenny Pearson.
Irene said, "Goosebumps are my warning sign of a place that might not be good or freaky." It's your body reacting to something in the environment.
Yeah, it may not necessarily mean that it is bad, but if it is warning you of something, and you're have always sort of been warned to be wary in that way, you follow your gut instincts.
And yes, you're right, Janet. Access the Akashic records through meditation as well.
Our Christy would know all about the Akashic records, wouldn't you? Got anything to say about the Akashic records, Christy? You want to put it up there?
Annabelle Universe? No, we only watched a little bit of it on Ghost Hunters React, and that was enough.
We did a whole research week on Annabelle when we did the podcast episode on Annabelle. We found it really intriguing and interesting.
And very funny when Renata tried to relate a story and just tripped up on the words, and it just came out so wrong.
Yeah, you must see it. If you haven't listened to it, listen to it. It's quite hilarious. But.
All right, there's a question from Elise for you while I blow my nose.
When you meet someone, can you sense if they are a bad person? I try not to, Elise, because I'm really, really bad at reading people for the very first time, because I have come from many situations where I am wary of people. So the first thing that happens for me is that I put up a shield and I kind of just, bless you.
I've been doing this all day, non-stop.
And I just try and allow time for people to kind of grow on me or not grow on me. But there have been times, Elise, where honestly and truly there have been people that I've been around where I've had to step away from and go, I just don't want to sit in their energy. It's to me it's not a nice energy. But that's me, and that's that particular person.
Oh, I gotta sneeze. Sorry, scrolling.
Really great questions tonight, guys. Awesome questions. Keep throwing them out.
Hi, Philip. How are you? Do you believe in astral projection?
Well, we have to say yes because we believe in a whole lot of these spooky things. So being able to disconnect from your body and find yourself elsewhere is part of this whole domain that we occupy when we're doing paranormal investigations. And astral projection may well be one of the things that we encounter when we go out ghost hunting. It may not well be the soul or the spirit of a dead person that we are encountering. It may well be the astral projected living person that we are seeing in a particular place.
And had experience at my favourite haunted place. Walking into the building, felt like the floor fell away from underneath me. Any idea what it was? I call that the fun house effect, where all of a sudden everything goes wonky and unbalanced. It could be, as I said before, your body reacting to environmental conditions. It could be that the floor is uneven in there. It could be a change of pressure that makes you feel unbalanced. It'd be good to have a barometer or something like that.
Yeah,
to
strong
measure.
electromagnetic field. That's when a K2 device is really, really awesome, because a K2 device will signal and let you know if there's really anything weird in electromagnetic field areas.
And that doesn't mean that there's a ghost there. It just means that there's electromagnetic field in that area which can affect people who are sensitive to it. Hi Karen, it's not tarot night tonight, beautiful. Come back on Thursday night for that one. Okay. Out of body experiences. Hi Jeff. Hi Maxine.
And Adelaide. Hi Adelaide J. Nice to have you on board. Got a great number of people on tonight. If you feel that anyone would benefit from coming on and listening to our discussion, tag them and get them to come through. And we do this every. We've got an angry face.
Oh no, somebody's probably accidentally done it.
Who's
It'd be Valerie. That's
Valerie.
Okay. She just made a mistake. That's all right.
We love answering your questions, and like Anne said right at the very beginning, we don't know everything. We are very open to looking things up if we don't know about them. Absolutely.
I've always wanted to do Q Station, but even more so after seeing your show. What's been your favourite places to investigate?
Everywhere.
Oh, the place I haven't been yet. That's my favourite place.
I would love to go to the Tower of London when it's closed off to tourists.
Yeah.
When I was there were like 50,000 other people there, and it wasn't nice. It wasn't a nice experience. I was still feeling things in some of those areas, but you didn't have the opportunity to really get into the zone of it. I loved investigating overseas because there were just so many awesome places and old places. Old places fascinate the shit out of me. Like even the ancient Ram Inn that we went to, which was like 10 or 12...
1100.
1100 something or other. And it was all wonky and all over the place, and it had dead things everywhere, and it had a hole in the ground where apparently
skeleton of a cat,
skeletons were there. And, it was awesome. And I know that sounds really freaky and awful, but I mean that's what we sort of live for.
We're sick. I still like was it Bran Castle in Romania? Yeah, that's because that was, we didn't really get to explore it a great deal, but just that glass dowsing experience we had was really cool. And Muckross Abbey.
Yeah, Muckross Abbey was awesome. Thank you, Danielle.
Dwayne, scariest movie scene that you've seen. It was some of the ones they showed us in Ghost Hunters React, which is on YouTube if you'd like to pop over to
go back to Ghost Hunters React and have a look at some of those, Dwayne.
There was
you'll laugh out loud with us.
There was somebody crawling out of someone's vagina. That just, I lost my shit over that. I'm sorry. That was really bad. Funniest scary movie scene? Probably the opening sequence of Conjuring 3. Right.
Did you like when the priest was standing there looking at the house and go, "Oh, shades of The Exorcist"?
Oh, wasn't it? Oh, I looked at Christy and went, "That's very Exorcist."
Yeah, it is. Just for a moment, what else are they borrowing? And then the plate started to be. Oh no, sorry, too much. But you know.
Oh yeah, the farting at Gloucester. That was the best out of all the farting. We had a run there month after month. Investigation after investigation, where people just kept farting, and they were loud and proud. Sometimes they didn't have headphones on, and they were still doing it.
So what's Nick say there?
Where?
Like a big post.
All
right, guys.
5 a.m. We're going to be on soon over there.
Oh boy, Nick.
We're working on new scary stories audiobooks throughout the night, so I'm going to sleep. Oh, well done, Nick.
Awesome.
You need to listen to us doing our soundscapes and true hauntings. It's we've got some good ones in there. All right. Hi, Jen.
Oh yeah, no trolls as yet tonight. We haven't been trolled by Tumblr or Twitter or.
I'll just check. Somewhere. I haven't looked at. I've just checked. Christy hasn't messaged us to say that no, there's nothing from Crispy, so we're all good.
Urban legends are good, Deborah Ann. There's always a touch of truth in urban legends. So something had to happen for an urban legend to get started. Often. But you'll also find that a lot of urban legends are worldwide. So, you know, hitchhiking ghosts tend to be worldwide. Motorcycle ghosts are worldwide. So there are a lot of stories where you'll find that no matter what country you go to, there is a likelihood that, you know, you'll have that same legend or the same story appear virtually word for word. There's always a grey nurse in a hospital, always a grey nurse, depending on what wing or whatever they're in, and they always seem to do the same thing. They always walk down through the corridors, and they never stop. They can walk straight through you, all of this sort of stuff. So very, very residual spirits, and so you'll hear that everywhere.
Oh, Andrew just saw a little mini light orb near me. It was probably a thought escaping. People who are skeptics in life less likely to come through a spirit when they've died. No, you know why they won't come through a spirit when they've died? Because they're going, I can't. I'd have to admit that I was wrong.
It was very interesting listening, because I'm trying to catch up with the parapsychology course that we're doing, and listening to bits when I'm driving in the car. And they were doing this thing that they send out to people listing their worst fears, and one of the worst fears for people is dying, so the death of a loved one or their own death. And they talk about
who was that? Because I was watching that too.
Yeah, that was last Thursday.
In class?
Yeah, in class. Right. And they did a scale to show people who
sorry, just read John's comment.
From skeptic to true believer, and what they feel like about the whole death process. And it's the in-betweens that are horrified and fearful of death. The skeptic doesn't care because they don't believe that there's anything after death, so they don't worry about it. And the true believer believes that they're going to come back because Jesus said so. So they're all okay. They don't really care or have any fear about death. But the in-betweens, those that kind of sit on the fence and just really don't know what they want to pick and choose, they're the fearful and terrified ones, which is really interesting, because you talk about skeptics and what Anne said, and that's probably quite true. A skeptic, first of all, won't believe they're going to have any sort of afterlife, so maybe that negates them having one. I don't know. Maybe the choice is, do you have an afterlife or you don't want to? I don't want to. I don't have one. Or I sleep through it, or I don't integrate with an afterlife, or whatever it is. I don't know. So maybe they don't come back as spirits.
Yeah, Janet, it wasn't Samuel Marsden, it was a different one. It was some sort of minister that was at Kew. I can't, the
Samuel Marsden was quite earlier on, and he was out the Penrith area.
A bit of a bastard.
At Cow Meadows, because I think they used to call it Cow Meadows or something. Cow Meadow Pastures or something out there. And he was a disgusting, awful man.
Awful. So we know you probably shouldn't do paranormal investigation when you are depressed. But what if you suffer from PTSD? like you're not depressed all the time and you are triggered?
I would suggest that if you are with a good team, you would talk about that, because depending on what you are investigating, there may well be triggers there. So, for example, I'm going to do a wide example for you, Joe. If you're investigating the death of someone who died in a car accident, but you have PTSD because of a car accident and the death of someone that you may have loved within that accident, you say you survived and the other person died or whatever, that's a trigger. That's a trigger, and we would have to have a discussion with our team or people who came on and wanted to be involved in that as to how they could cope with that sort of information. You don't go through that if you're just going on a ghost tour, so you have to kind of look after yourself and understand where you're going and what the likelihood is of what you're going to encounter there.
And have some tools ready to put in place should you feel that you are triggered or that rising panic is setting in.
And a good team will have someone there who can assist and help you and talk you through an episode if you happen to have one while you are on the tour.
I've always wanted to visit Quarantine Station, but more so after watching you guys there, what is your favourite place in Oz to investigate?
Oh, one we've not yet been to. I really love the asylums, which is a really weird thing to say, but Aradale Asylum was
I want to go
awesome.
and investigate Beechworth.
At Beechworth.
Haven't got there yet. That's somewhere I would really like to go. Okay.
There's so many places, Jodie, that we still haven't been to, and we'd love to be invited.
Where do you get your background banners from? eBay. I just type in spooky backgrounds. I've got a new one under here too, which we're going to try at one stage or other. Oh, actually, that looks really good. Did you see how good that came off on camera then? We might do that tomorrow morning, that one. Possibly. We've still got good relationships there with Q Station, and they are open to us coming and running something occasionally, I do believe. After speaking to the producer-director, Bianca, she was keen for us to do something there, but I mean, it's got to be, there's many hands that has to pass through before we go back there and do that.
What did Lily just say about PTSD? Might be some good information for people. People who have PTSD usually have BPD or PAD and many other associated mental illnesses. I don't agree that people with mental illnesses should not investigate. I feel there is a link between mental illness and empaths. The problem we have, Lily, is that we have duty of care while people are in our space. So we need to be able to act and react to people who are in those states. So that's when it can get a little bit dicey. So we have to just be really, really on guard and available, but also really aware that not only do we have to take care of them, but we have to take care of everyone else that is in the group who may see something occur or a distressing thing happen, and so it can be something that affects a lot of people. And yeah, Lily, that's unfortunate. If we had someone on our team who had a mental illness, we would work with them to try and assist them to become stronger and to always tell us where they stand when it comes to being on an investigation or a tour. So we have then formed a more personal and private relationship with that particular person. We can understand what's going on and have a chat about it. When you have someone who's just come on a tour, they're not likely to step up and go, "Excuse me, but I have PTSD." They'll just keep it quiet until something happens.
I don't know what that is. Portable Tree, can you do a Randonautica stream? Don't know what it is. You have to let us know.
Sounds interesting. Portable Tree, we're up for anything, as long as it's legal.
Andrew, my understanding from astral projection is that you shouldn't be tired from doing that, because you are doing it in your sleep and your body is resting whilst the mind is travelling. So you might just want to check in there on your techniques and make sure that you're doing it the right way. Not that I am an expert in that area. Best way to remove broken religious statues. I had 3 broken.
Oh, Marie, who broke them? My goodness. That's a sad thing.
Do
I'll tell you a little story, Marie. When I was in high school, I was at a convent, and me and some friends, because we were a bit cheeky, were given the task of smashing up Mary and Joseph out the back with a hammer. Because I wanted to get rid of the statues. This is the nuns. Yes. Oh my God. Oh, that stands out. That was a day. That was a day I remember. Oh, geez, I tell you, if we had these cameras back then, mobile phones, because it was in the dark ages, that would have been all over the internet. But yes, we had a hammer, and we had to smash those statues up so they can be put in the bin.
Do a Marie Kondo on it. Hold it in your hands and say,
"I thank you.
I thank you.
I love you for your service, but it's time for you to go."
And then wrap it up in some newspaper and pop it in the bin. It's not your belief that you're putting in the bin. It is an item that is broken and no longer of use. So you're not doing anything wrong. Oh.
Maybe my life went really badly from that moment of smashing Mary's face up and Joseph, and I could attribute a lot to that moment.
Whitby.
What?
Yeah.
There's this story based on ancient Whitby, where an couple had allegedly saw a vision of God. He was placed on a pedestal for the rest of his life. That would have been ouchy for him. Interestingly, this would be the time of St Hilda, at the very dawn of Christianity in England. Yes, Jan. Bless you. Apparently St Hilda has a big following. She has a mighty following, St Hilda. Can you see past pets? Have you had animals appear on tours? Most of the animals that we have had come through Portable Tree have been through during seances.
Yep.
Not on tours as such.
Oh, I have seen real animals. I saw a fox go running out of the gates of Maitland Jail one night. That was awesome. Cool.
I was out the back.
That's my spirit animal.
I was whispering to that fox, going, "I'm not going to tell anyone I see this fox," and then I thought I better.
You told me a weird reading from my nan on Thursday and said peanut butter and Jat's biscuits. I asked my mum, as I had no idea what this meant. She said that's her secret midnight snack. You're weird. You are so weird.
Thank you, Nicola. That's made my night. Thank you so much.
Do you believe that an area can make you ill? Twice I've walked into the same coffee shop healthy and immediately felt extremely ill. Even walking by, my head hurt like hell, so now I walk around it crazy.
It happens, Jules. It happens.
You could be environmentally sensitive to something that's in there, and it might not necessarily be a ghost. It could be a cleaning agent that they use.
That's true. That's true. Or there might be someone in there going, "Jules, come on in.
I'm going to kill you.
Kill you.
With the bad coffee." No. There is somebody, apparently, there is a lady on Ozparatech wanting a paranormal question. I have all of it, all the feeds on here. Sometimes the feed will jump and I miss questions.
It's all right. We'll get to her at some point, Jenny, even after the show.
All right, Wendy, I can tell you what I've been told. What this means is that spirit is drawing the energy out of that place, out of the atmosphere, which creates a cold spot. But really, it could just be one of those things. It could just be a breeze. It could be a spirit and your body's reacting to it. What's your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people do say that the change of energy can create a cold space. Movies make a big thing out of it because it looks really good when you're sitting there going, and it all just sort of mists up. So
I just realised my favourite place and I wanted to investigate more. Loftus Hall.
Oh, yeah. Let's not talk about Loftus Hall.
Oh,
So yeah,
I wanna buy
apparently, a space will get cold.
I want to buy Loftus Hall.
you
Haven't
go.
been to Budapest, but I've been to Bucharest. Bucharest. I've been to Romania.
Jeanette, I was lucky enough because I have Polish heritage to spend some time in Poland, which I loved, and because that country, as many countries, was flattened during World War II, there were many places that I went to there that had a whole lot of more recent history where there is a lot of that sense of it being haunted, and one of those was Auschwitz, and the other one was the Jewish area, the Jewish zone in Warsaw, and the museum that's located underground, which just I had to literally walk out of. It just ran my blood cold there. Some awful, awful things.
Not at all awkward. No, that was just me thinking, where do I start with the answer? There's no awkwardness whatsoever. Please don't feel bad, Elise. I'm sort of really quite proud of my journey that I'm on.
I had a very interesting. Reply from someone last week with regard to my choice in my belief system. It probably is. It can be a touchy subject.
Have you ever been to St. George's in Morpeth? I had an experience there. What's St. George's in Morpeth?
Lily, is that the convent building or the church, St. George's? I don't know. Haven't been. Christy will know. Christy
lives in Morpeth.
Christy, St. George's, Morpeth. Let us know what that is all about.
Oh, Renee. Oh, I'd love that. Oh, that'd be really nice. So I want to take Renata over to Rotorua and get her in the hot springs over there. You've not been to Rotorua, have you? Stinkiest place ever. It just blows my mind how bad it smells.
Sulphur. Sulphur. It's the
you
heart of the devil.
You might feel right at home there, Renata.
What's Joe Ingram saying? New ghost tour guide at Beechworth Asylum isn't very good. Oh, unfortunately, Danny and the Paranormal Prospectors only do Beechworth Jail and Star Hotel at Yakka.
And not the asylum anymore.
Oh, okay.
Aww.
That's a bit sad.
Hey, Miss Ghost Hunt. All right. Your risk assessment.
Yeah. Lily, so many places ask literally for your blood type before they let you run tours. And we have to be sure that we can answer most questions and get out of all situations. A site will just not have you if you bugger it up for them. It just won't.
If anyone buggers it up for them. So it just takes one team to go in there and do the wrong thing, and they will bar anyone ever coming in there again. It's an app available on Google Play, developed in Oz. Oh, okay. I'm going to take a photo of that and I will look it up. And there we go. Yeah, I'm full of demons. Hi, Jose. How are you?
Guys, just a little bit of a teaser. We are going to have a little bit of merch coming soon. That's all we're saying.
Oh, I'm so excited!
That's all
it's
we're saying.
On its way!
It is being sorted.
And can I just say,
speak?
Renata is freaking awesome. She is freaking awesome. She sourced all of this and worked out how to do it, and I am in awe of her magnificence.
Oh, let's just hope it works well.
Yeah, let's hope so. Otherwise, we're stuck with 500 pretty shitty things. There'll be a bargain basement sale.
I heard from nurses that all hospitals are haunted. Rankin Park Hospital in particular. Have you ever done an investigation at a hospital? Yes, we have. And most nurses will give you awesome stories. They will. A lot of them don't like to actually admit that they have seen and heard weird and wonderful things, but yeah, most nurses during their career will have a story to tell that kind of sits outside of the norm. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh dear. Oh look, Renee, honestly, we've been trying. We were going to do it ourselves, and then
we were held back.
It was all held up, and then there was reason machines weren't working, and then quotes were a little bit out of our reach, and
taken things into our own
we've
hands.
just taken it. Yeah, we're taking it and run with it, and we even had like a logo made up and everything. So it's coming. It's a coming.
We are at an hour. So
we're up.
Yeah,
oh my God. Okay, that
very,
just
very
flew.
shortly.
Yep. All right. Well, that. Danielle's like, yes for merch.
Are you buying, Danielle? Are you buying Loftus Hall? Please. We'll go in with you.
I've got $100 for the 2 million euros or whatever it is.
Look, I'll even find. Look, did all of you hear that story today? Where someone bought a place in Sydney, in Kensington in Sydney. It had no running water, no bathroom, no toilet, and it went for $4.7 million. No running water, no bathroom, and no kitchen. No running water, no bathroom, no kitchen. It was a...
Hi boys, how you doing?
Pull down job, 4.7 million.
Wow.
They could have bought Loftus Hall twice.
Right, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, we have got the ABC of Paranormal Strangeness. We are doing empaths. Thursday evening, 7 p.m, we have the beautiful Lady Tamara on Spirit Talk Australia Radio, which is on Facebook. That is a Facebook page, Spirit Talk Australia Radio. Links will go up. And she is our mentor on that particular page and in all things witchy. Then Thursday night we have the 8:30 free tarot show. I think 9:30 that night we've got our Patreon group, so we won't be able to do our Spirit Box session. Then Friday morning, 10 a.m. Australia time, we will be recording an interview for the Uncensored Radio. And then I think at 11, we are going live on their Uncensored Radio talk show, where we are just part of a panel talking normal stuff. And then this Friday night, we're talking to Cade? Or no, it's the following Friday night. I think it's the following Friday night, because I think we're at Maitland Jail.
Maitland Jail again this weekend.
So we've got lots of stuff coming up if you want to keep joining in on the craziness. Yes, there will be a season 2 of The Space Between. We're already partway through filming it. And yeah, it's different location, very cool. But thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for your awesome questions. Really good questions.
Awesome questions.
We'll see you at some stage or other during the week, and see you on the dark side.
Bye.
Bye.